Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. Tonight we are tracking historic breaking news. A New York grand jury has voted to indict former President Donald Trump in cases tied to payments made to an adult film star back in 2016.
Trump's attorney has confirmed the historic development with CBS News. The decision marks the first time in U.S. history that criminal charges have been brought against a former president.
Now the case centers around Trump's alleged role in falsifying business records to hide campaign finance violations, claiming that Trump ordered payments to be made to Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign to silence claims of an affair with the adult film star. Now, the office of the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, will negotiate with the Trump team now on the conditions for the former president's surrender to authorities. CBS News has learned that former President Trump will be fingerprinted and his Secret Service detail will be with him. This felony indictment is under seal. It is expected to be made public in the coming days.
And within the last hour, former President Trump released a statement saying in part, quote, "The American people realize exactly what the radical left Democrats are doing here. Everyone can see it. So our movement and our party, united and strong, will first defeat Alvin Bragg and then we'll defeat Joe Biden. And we are going to throw every last one of these crooked Democrats out of office so we can make America great again."
And we will continue to provide details, information throughout the night as we continue to learn more.
Moving on to local news tonight, new details in a nearly 40-year-old cold case. The victim's finally been identified, and tonight we are hearing from the detectives that never let this case be forgotten.
In June of 1984, the dismembered body of a woman was discovered in the Spokane River. Despite using DNA databases and forensic renditions of what the victim may have looked like, for decades, investigators just couldn't crack the mystery of even who she was until this year.
Othram Labs, who helped solve the Candy Rogers cold case, used degraded samples to create a DNA profile, then through genetic genealogy provided SPD with a list of potential family members. Spokane police were able to track down a biological sister of the victim and finally identified her as Ruth Waymire. This afternoon, KREM 2's Janelle Fitch sat down with the dedicated detective on this case and shares more of her story. Janelle?
With Ruth identified, detectives now hope they can paint a better picture of what happened to her and who could be responsible for her death. For 40 years, Spokane police knew the dismembered body found in the Spokane River June of 1984 as Millie.
Her real name is Ruth Waymire.
Detective Sergeant Zach Stormond says identifying Millie as Ruth wasn't easy.
Our lab in Cheney, the Washington State Patrol crime lab, it was difficult for them to actually get a sample.
But Othram Labs was able to create a DNA profile through the degraded DNA. Then through genetic genealogy, the lab provided SPD with a list of potential family members. Stormont says the eureka moment came when cross-referencing that list with a divorce certificate, signed with Millie's real name.
It listed her and her sister on that form.
Stormont says he's been in contact with Ruth's younger sister and explained how Ruth was a Spokane mystery for the last 40 years.
She's going through all those stages of grief with it right now.
Stormont says the sisters went their separate ways at a young age. He says the only family member who could have potentially reported Ruth as missing was her mother, who died 2 years before Ruth was found dead. SPD also identified 2 of Ruth's husbands. SPD says the first is still alive and cooperating in the investigation. Ruth was married to the second at the time of her death, Trampus Vaughn.
He's a mystery. He used different names at times in some records, in marriage records and driver's license and things like that I'm interested in. So I'm hoping some people can shed light on him.
He died 6 years ago, but has not been ruled out as a suspect. Stormont says the forensic portion of the case is complete, but there's still work to do.
So I hope people out there that do know something or knew her in high school, Rogers High School, classes 76 through about 1980, might know her or her sister. I'd love to hear from those people and see if we can put it all together and close it properly.
At the time of her death, Ruth was 24. No suspects have been identified in the investigation. An autopsy revealed Ruth may have also had a child 1 to 2 years before she died. Spokane police are urging people who may know something about Ruth or her potential child or children to come forward. Ruth would have been 63 next month. In the studio, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Janelle, thank you very much. All right, happening tonight, the Veterans Center in Spokane Valley holding a town hall meeting to discuss the new expansion of eligibility for veterans who've endured toxic exposures during wartime. Across the Northwest, it's estimated that 43,000 veterans may be eligible for the new PACT Act benefits. The act opens the door for more than 3.5 million veterans to enroll and get screened for their exposure. According to the VA, those who served in the National Guard may be eligible as well. That meeting is being held from 6 to 8 tonight at the Spokane Valley Vet Center.
All right, let's switch gears, take a break from all the headlines and talk weather because a major cool down is on the way for the weekend.
Yeah, Jeremy, we thought we were on our way to just kind of cruise into spring nicely, but not so fast, right?
I know. Mark, did you know that the average first 60-degree day for us here in Spokane is historically March 21st?
Of course I knew that.
All right, cool. We're not going to do that. The latest ever? April 24th back in 2011. We might do that. All right, let's talk the temps because right now things are looking pretty warm across much of the inland Northwest. 50s pretty widespread. 61 in Omak, another warm one, even Grand Coulee up to 59 degrees. Wenatchee at 58. All in all, not looking too bad, but things are expected to change rapidly. We're going to see snow develop by tomorrow afternoon across the Cascades. By tomorrow evening, we'll see some of that moisture reach the inland Northwest. Mountain snow, scattered showers down in the valleys, and then it grows more widespread. Main event really going to be overnight Friday into Saturday. Wind and rain, and likely enough rain that you're going to wake up and go, oh, it's raining really hard. And then you're going to think, oh yeah, he did say that. And then eventually you're going to see more snow. Then Saturday afternoon, it's more scattered showers. And I don't know how to say this. By Sunday, we could be talking another round of snow for us here in Spokane. I'm just the messenger, I promise. 48 tomorrow, 49 on Saturday, Sunday 46. But despite that, the cold overhead is enough such that we will likely see snow.
We'll have to wait and learn more about this, Jeremy. Thank you.